Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor. And I want to start this show by showing you a street sign that I saw in Atlanta. I was in Atlanta yesterday and I was driving down the road and I said, wait a minute, and I saw this sign and I had to snap a picture. So it said, interesting street name in Atlanta, Joel A. Katz. And you all know that is, Joel Katz is what David Schwartz, CTO of Ripple, goes by. So I snapped a photo and David Schwartz himself, Joel Katz, replied and he said, awesome is my middle name. We have solved the mystery. Now, yesterday I saw this come across and you gotta see this, okay? This is the first thing regarding William Hinman that I saw come across. This is Bill Hinman being added as an advisor to who? That would be Andreessen Horowitz, okay? Remember who Andreessen Horowitz is. Andreessen Horowitz is one of the first investors in Ripple. They're one of the first investors in Coinbase, okay? But that's not all, folks. I'm going to show you. But this was an article on TechCrunch about Andreessen Horowitz, how they're tripling down on blockchain startups with massive $2.2 billion crypto fund 3. Right here, a couple of other folks are also coming onto in advisory capacity, including this guy and Bill Hinman, formerly the SEC. I mean, yesterday was a bizarre day regarding Bill Hinman and the SEC, and I'm going to show it all to you. Now, why is this significant? Here's why it's significant. Who's Andreessen Horowitz? That's the venture capital firm that was started by Mark Andreessen, who was the founder of Netscape. This is the article, Crypto Fund 3, by Chris Dixon, Katie Hawn, and Ali Yahya, or whatever. But anyway, this is the announcement of adding Bill Hinman. Now remember, don't forget, and you're going to see it in a minute, Bill Hinman is the guy that worked for Jay Clayton, who walked to the microphone at a Yahoo Finance conference in June of 2018 and announced that Ethereum was not a security. Okay, this was the first time that we heard that. Okay, and it came out of nowhere. But what's interesting is he's joining Andreessen Horowitz, which is an investor in Ripple. And this is also interesting. On that same board is Katie Hawn, who was one of the 3 people that did this write-up. 2 things that are interesting about her. I've talked about her on my channel before. And this is why I said this goes in all the world's a stage file. Katie Hawn was also the person who was the, I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. She was also the person who did the Ripple, who was the U.S. attorney who did the Ripple, the sign-off on when FinCEN fined Ripple in 2015, I think it was $700,000. She's the woman who signed off on that agreement, which in that agreement it called XRP a virtual currency. Okay, this is what gave Ripple a reason to think it was okay to go around and sell XRP because they had been fined. U.S. Treasury called it a virtual currency, and so okay, you can go forward. That was the whole point. And now Bill Hinman, who was a part of the SEC who sued Ripple, is going to be on the same board at Andreessen Horowitz with Katie Hawn. This goes into the we're watching a movie category, okay? Now, this came out yesterday. James K. Phelan, breaking, SEC files motion to quash deposition of William H. Hinman, ex-SEC director of the Division of Corporate Finance. So Ripple is trying to depose William Hinman, okay? They want to find out why did you give these guys Ethereum a free pass? Why was this all done? So they're trying to depose him, and the SEC is fighting it. They don't want him to be deposed. And then Jeremy Hogan weighs in, well, Ripple wants to depose former director Hinman, and surprise, surprise, the SEC does not want that to happen. The brief itself is mildly interesting, but the more interesting stuff is in the exhibits to the motion. Interesting stuff doing a video. We'll be waiting for his video on this to really get his take. Then there was this. Jim Hyatt copied me on this and said, "You are hurting their feelings. Please stop the truth telling, sir. No one will want to be a public servant again." This was an actual footnote in the motion to quash, okay? This is especially true where, as here, proponents of XRP have consistently used social media to disseminate negative and false statements about members of SEC leadership, including Director Hinman. A deposition of a former high-ranking SEC official like Director Hinman, when coupled with the type of negative media exposure already present in connection with this case, will increase the deterrent to public service for qualified individuals like Director Hinman. Well, what I say to this is, first of all, I don't ever put anything out misleading and false. And the second thing is, pretty much all I've done is put out their own words, which I'm doing again today. We're going to go to the next thing. Then John Deaton weighs in. The SEC claims XRP holders have shared false info about Hinman and Clayton. See footnote. So this is the footnote I just read you. After reading the footnote, I say maybe allowing the deposition to go forward will make future high-ranking officials more accountable regarding the things that they say. Exactly. So in this spirit, I decided that I would, you know what I just saw when I did this? When I first went to this page, it showed like 73 quoted tweets, and it was cut in half to 35. Red flags. I don't know what's going on there. But I typed this up today. According to the SEC, proponents of XRP have used social media to disseminate negative and false statements about members of SEC leadership. For this reason, they don't believe Bill Hinman should be deposed. I am against any such dissemination. Their own words, however, I'm in. Now look, I want you to look down here. This says 75 quote tweets, 165 retweets. I'm going to do a refresh and see if that changes, because it changed on a dime just now. Look at that. Then it goes to 35. Are you freaking kidding me? What is going on? That's extremely weird. Well, maybe when I play you the clip, it might make sense why they're cutting the quoted tweets in half. Watch this.
Now, you also talked about initial coin offerings, or ICOs, which are ways of raising money using cryptocurrencies. Did you use a similar reasoning? You implied that most seem to be securities, ICOs, but some of them are not. Can you just show us what the difference is simply?
I wish we had a simple way to say this is in and this is out. As I mentioned, there are usually facts and circumstances tests, but a key factor is there a third-party promoter here who knows much more about the instrument than investors might? If that's the case, that's sort of an initial indicator that we might have a securities transaction. If people are buying it for investment and for a return and looking to that party for a return, then again, that's an indicia of a security.
So I'll talk a bit about the funding model. So we will have a fundraiser for 2 months starting February 1st. It will be available at funds.ethereum.org. So the idea is that part of the initial issuance will be 1,000 Ether for 1 Bitcoin, or up to 2,000 Ether for 1 Bitcoin if you get in early to compensate for the increased risk.
If you get in early.
The issuance model is that we will fundraise. Suppose that we hand out X Ether through the fundraiser, then there will be about 0.5x will be pre-mined, and then 0.4x after that will be mined per year forever. So it's this hybrid of Mastercoin, of the Mastercoin and Ripple model.
In your speech that neither Bitcoin nor Ether would be considered securities and thus not under the purview of the SEC, can you very briefly explain what your reasoning is?
Sure, Bob. These are complex facts and circumstances tests, but when we look at Bitcoin or if we look at Ether and the highly decentralized nature of the networks, we don't see a third-party promoter where applying the disclosure regime would make a lot of sense. So we're comfortable in some sort of viewing these as items that don't have to be regulated as securities.
Now, if I were Bill Hinman and everything I had ever done was above board, I would tell them, yes, bring me in, depose me. Let's get this all out. I'm an open book. But that's not what they're doing. Ripple, I don't normally cuss on this channel, but play this damn video in front of those SEC attorneys and your attorneys and that judge. I'd pay money to see the looks on their faces while they have to defend the indefensible. And get that guy on the stand. He should be excited about getting on the stand. Anytime in my life that I knew I had the truth on my side, you put me anywhere, I'm in. Let's do it. Let's talk about it. Because if you don't have anything, look right here again while I'm talking. That's at 76 quoted tweets. Let's do a refresh again. Now it's at 36. What is going on? Okay. Then Tom Emmer, one of the good guys in the space, or in Congress for crypto, in case you missed it, the Fed must act to keep America a leader in the crypto space. Read more here, and then let's see what I've got next. I wanted to show you this, and then I'll just end this video. I got other stuff, but we'll get to it. Citi starts crypto unit in wealth management division from the block, I guess. I'll say one thing about this. I told you a long time ago on this channel, not some of Wall Street, not some of the big boys are coming to crypto. All of the big boys are coming to crypto, and we're talking about all of the money, not some of the money. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, and tell your friends and family that we only want to disseminate true and factual information, their own words. I'm not for disseminating anything that's negative for the sake of being negative, but if it's negative because it's their own words, I'm all about